Hello, hello. Welcome back to Black Girl Ambition with your girl, Nia Baxter. This is your community for successful, ambitious, badass women to discuss our unique experiences in corporate America, in entrepreneurship, and striving for happiness in every single part of our lives. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Black Girl Ambition podcast, rate, review, and please share with a friend. This year, as this community grows, you'll see your girl is on video. I am making a push to incorporate video for more episodes. This episode is going to be shorter. I want you to be able to collect these gems and go on about your day. So we're going to focus on sharing some practical tips, tricks, and getting you smart on AI. Or artificial intelligence. So I am joined today by Jade Williams here. She is a self-described user-obsessed product leader with over a decade of experience building and scaling new solutions in the public and private sectors, from fintech to advertising. Jade's career has been interesting because she straddles the worlds of both tech and creative, and links to areas that can often sit in different silos. After she experienced a layoff a couple of years ago, Jade made a career pivot to become an AI expert. And in her most recent role, she partnered with top consumer brands to optimize their advertising content using predictive modeling tools and her passion for serving marginalized communities. You literally cannot open your news, your social feed, especially on LinkedIn, or go to a conference without hearing about the transformative impacts of AI, how it's going to change the world, how it already is changing the world. It is and will continue to impact every industry. And I truly believe that being AI fluent is going to decide who gets the spoils from this new economy that's being created. So no matter what your role or your industry, I really do believe that we have to get smart on the technology. There just is no other choice. And I am personally invested in making sure that Black women have the information they need to thrive. Hashtag no gatekeeping. We all know that there's a lack of representation of women in tech. So, let alone Black women. And we have Jade here, who I have invited to help this community of women level up. So Jade, or should I say that AI girl, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Naya. I'm excited about this conversation.
I am too. So tell me, what inspired you to create that AI girl? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, it is just as you said. After working in AI, I realized how important it was for our community, millennials, Gen Z, women of color, women in general, to take an active role in what I honestly believe is one of the biggest technological revolutions of our time. So in that realization, I noticed how overwhelming it can be to stay informed about AI, especially when most of the content out there feels either too technical, you have to be an engineer or developer, or it is layered in a bunch of opinion other than facts. So everyone is just talking about what they think the AI revolution is and not, really hanging on the facts. So I created that AI Girl brand to be your internet bestie, really, who keeps you up to speed on everything you need to know about AI without all of the noise and overwhelm from what you may see in the headlines.
So what will people find at that AI Girl?
Sure. So the first manifestation of that AI Girl brand is a weekly newsletter on LinkedIn called That AI Girl's Weekly Digest. And it highlights the latest happenings in AI in a fun and digestible format. So the format I would want to know and read about AI. In it, I also sprinkle tidbits of what's going on in my personal life as a professional working in AI, as a girl, just in general. And the goal is really to keep readers informed without, again, all the overwhelm you may come across when you're digging into AI. What is it? What's happening? It's supposed to be this, very simple way for you to get into the latest AI news in a simple and fun environment.
So it sounds like it's cutting through the noise.
Giving you facts.
In a very relatable way.
And you'll learn more about me. What is it like working at AI as a Black woman? I'll add a little journal prompt to every newsletter, just keeping you up to speed on here's my week, here's what I'm up to. So it gives it a bit of a personal touch as well.
So, as someone who does not have an AI background, it really didn't come to the forefront for me until Gen AI became as popular as it is with different productivity tools like OpenAI's ChatGPT or Microsoft's Copilot or Google's Gemini. But I understand that Gen AI is just one piece of an entire AI field. I want you to talk to me, help us understand how the AI field is organized, structured. Like, what are the different pieces of it and how do they fit together?
Yes. So AI is super broad and there are different areas, but at a high level, it's all about mimicking human intelligence, artificial intelligence. If we think about the broad strokes of AI, there are specialized fields. So you have machine learning, which is about teaching a computer to recognize patterns and make predictions based on your behavior. So think about, Netflix predicting what show you may, want to watch next. That is a use case of machine learning. It's learning you and getting to know you, like everything you do on your phone or everything you click on. That concept of artificial intelligence that uses that information to make predictions is machine learning. You also have computer vision, and that is all about helping computers see and understand images and videos. So think about like facial recognition on your phone or using computer vision to figure out like what's in a photo. If you go into your iPhone, and I did this recently, there is a feature now that can cluster photos based on different types or faces. So it can show you all the photos that has this face of your child or your niece or nephew. That is an example of computer vision. And then generative AI or Gen AI, which is what you mentioned, is super popular right now. And that's all about creating new content. So generating text, images, or videos. So things like ChatGPT, Google has Gemini. These are all under that category around generating text, images, and videos based on our inputs. That would be Gen AI. There are so many different facets of AI, and I think it's important for us to at least learn and understand those top three. At a high level, that's, kind of the family of AI, but it is pretty broad.
And now that you describe it in that way, something that's existed alongside us for many, many years in the terms of computer vision, being able to recognize our faces through pictures, we're now using it in a different way. And we're also more aware of it. We also have more broad access to it than we did before. So that's created a very big difference too.
Yeah. The use cases are hitting us more directly now in our hands or in our workday, but the concepts have been around for years, for decades.
I was reading, I don't want to butcher her last name, Joy Bulamwini, her book, Unmasking AI. And in that book, I learned that the term artificial intelligence was created way back in 1957. I thought it was more of a recent development. I mean, that's the year that my mother was born. So just very interesting fun fact that I learned. So can you explain what is a large language model? Like, what is a large language model and how are these different AI systems built off of it?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So we just talked about what Gen AI is, and a lot of Gen AI like ChatGPT is powered by something called a large language model or LLM. And you can think of these as AI systems that are trained on a massive amount of data. It's like a really big brain made out of computers that has read a ton of books, websites, articles, just say it knows everything that's ever been on the internet. So it's like this large language model, or they create these LLMs around this huge amount of data. And because they have these models, it's good at guessing what comes next when you ask it a question or give it a sentence. So for example, if you say, or the LLM might guess time because it knows from all the stories it's read that once upon a time usually go together because it's backed by this big brain or massive amount of data. It can make predictions and fill in blanks based on all the knowledge that it has access to.
But where does it come from? Where does all of the data come from? Is it social media that produces
social media, anything
like
anything
the data
in the ecosystem of technology? So you can think social media. Take, for example, you use Google as a search engine, and Google is combing through everything that ever existed on the inside or on the internet to produce results from you, but it's not going to give you everything. There's some models behind it that's saying this is most relevant for top restaurants in DC. So it may be going to Yelp. There's a model behind it that's influencing what results pop up. but that model is attached to a large amount of data. So these models are constructed by data scientists to help make the best prediction based on the data that it has available. But in terms of the data that's available, you're right. It's any and everything ever it could exist.
That's very interesting. I also, me being in the DEI world professionally, it is impossible for me to think about AI and not think about the potential for bias that exists within it. And when you talk about data scientists creating the algorithms, I think about, well, who were the data scientists?
And this is why that AI girl exists, because in working with a data scientist in different facets, I realized how important it is for us to be in the room to inform what these models and algorithms are. And that not even if you're just in the room, but also contributing to the data too. So what we put out in the internet helps shape what some of these models also feed off of too. I agree with you 100% in that these are the questions that pop up. It's like artificial intelligence, but it's really being constructed about these algorithms.
It's
and models.
really being
So
exactly
defining those and what thoughts are they putting in to train this.
If you're making predictions based on historical information, or based on the access to the data pool, I just see so many different opportunities for there to be bias that excludes or amplifies biases and oppression in different ways, which, to your point, is just more of a reason for us to be in the rooms. We have to be in the conversation.
There is one area of AI that I've been invested in recently. There's a discipline called responsible AI, which its intent is to teach these guardrails and best practices to, I wouldn't say to eliminate bias, but to reduce it as much as possible. There is, a lot of experts in that space and people who are building their acumen in responsible AI to help make sure that it's used in the right way and that algorithms and models are fair and inclusive. So that makes things hopeful.
I hope so. To what extent are they being funded, the responsible AI departments and then listened to? But the fact that they exist is a step in the right direction. Right. So what steps did you take to build expertise in AI?
I started by using the resources I had around me. Working in AI, I was lucky to be surrounded by data scientists, so I asked a ton of questions. And their answers would spark my curiosity and push me to do my own research and learn more. And then creating that AI girl has also kept me on my toes with learning. So I want to make sure I'm not just sharing the latest AI news, but I'm also breaking it down in a way that's accurate and easy to understand, which means I have to stay sharp and keep expanding my own knowledge. It's definitely still a journey, though I've enjoyed the process, whether it's reading or taking a course and figuring things out as I go. Remaining curious has been my biggest advantage. But now, Naya, I feel like I'm at a point where I've done all the self-resources and courses and things that I can, and I'm looking into an advanced degree. MIT offers one. There's one here in Georgetown, but that's like my next level with advancing my knowledge.
Could you speak more to that, specific tactical resources that people could pursue? Because there's the going all in and getting a master's degree or getting a PhD in the field, right? Then you could also get a certification. And then there's just self-knowledge, self-learning, and understanding what's out there, like even the best productivity tools that exist. There are levels to this. But can you just help us understand what are some different ways that you would advise that folks get up to speed?
And I love thinking about it in terms of availability and how much time you have. Because like you said, it's like a spectrum. I would say for those of us who have like absolutely no time, most of us would probably say we fit into that category. Incorporating like a short form podcast into your daily routine or while you're washing dishes or during your commute is a good way to stay in the loop. So for that, I recommend a podcast called AI for Humans, which is essentially just two friends, Kevin and Gavin, and they break down AI in a very personable and easy way to understand. It's almost like you're eavesdropping in on a conversation with two white guys who are just talking about AI. Definitely love AI for Humans. The second one I would recommend is the AI podcast. Pretty straightforward. It's from NVIDIA, which is a big player in the AI space and is a credible source in there. podcast style is more interview based with experts, but I think you have to keep your ear to the door on what these experts are saying about AI. And an honorable mention on podcasts is consider this the NPR is like very short form news based podcast. It is not AI specific, but because a lot of AI is in the news, they oftentimes hit on something. NPR's consider its podcast is good for those who are a bit booked and busy and just need something quickly to plug in and say they, heard 2 minutes of news. And of course, the AI Girl Weekly Digest, which is every Monday on LinkedIn. And then let's just say you have like a little bit more time, say an hour or two a week to do something. I would recommend elementsofai.com. It is a fantastic free set of courses on an AI that break down the basics. And I'm a girl who loves a good UI. Like it has to look pleasant, but not boring. And I like their UI and just the experience that they have around it.
But UI means
user interface.
Okay.
The buttons, the colors, the graphics they use. And then LinkedIn offers a bunch of resources as well there. But those would be my like 2 categories of, a few podcasts, maybe a course or 2, if you really want to invest in learning. And then, as I mentioned, if you're really dedicated and it's like, I want to be an AI expert, the 2 more advanced options I'm considering are MIT has a 6-week course. And then Georgetown has an online master's program in AI, and it's a 1-year program. There's no GRE or GMAT required. So those would be for the dedicated few who are really serious about it. But those are just a few resources I would encourage the girls and the guys to get into if they want to learn more.
Do you think that folks need a background in computer science to go the master's degree route?
I don't think so. But in my case, I study economics and business, and then my career journey has led me in the AI space. Obviously, it wouldn't hurt to have, but I'm not sure it's, required.
I was curious about that because I know so many people in the space do have that as a background, which can seem limiting to folks who don't have that background. So just curious where you see the points of entry.
Either the degree or relevant work experience. It'll just help you consume the content a little easier if you have the foundational knowledge of technology. Those are the resources I would recommend to get your AI on.
Get your AI on. What about productivity tools? Do you have a favorite one?
Exactly. Obviously, ChatGPT, a fan fave. We love
fan fave.
She's everyone's favorite coworker.
Everyone's favorite coworker.
And then I recently discovered on ChatGPT, there's also Sora.
What's that?
So you know how ChatGPT will return text or outlines or whatever you ask it for? Sora can generate images and videos for you. So you can be like, hey, create an image of Naya and Jade on the Black Girl Ambition podcast. Naya has on this and Jade has on this, and it'll create a video or image. So, very specific use case, but for creators in spaces or who have creative jobs is a useful tool. And then for deck development, which I know is huge in consulting for my consulting girlies, Beautiful.ai and Pitch are fantastic for creating very polished, visually engaging presentations with minimal effort. So throw away Google Slides and whatever else folks use, but Beautiful.ai and Pitch are pretty good. And then Canva is doing a lot in the AI space. They have some like new features that increase productivity too.
Image creation.
Yeah, or quick designs. And now they'll have recommendations. You can put in you can craft your brand on Canva and have like a brand guidelines, and then it can auto generate some things for you based on the parameters that you set in that brand book. So for entrepreneurs, I would say leveraging Canva and the combination of their new AI features is a good place to start as well.
I'm going to put all of these in the show notes so folks can just access them quickly. I mean, is AI putting us all out of work? I use it in my everyday. It has made me more productive. It has made me more efficient. I have also found that it does things mostly right the first time, as opposed to going back and forth with a person who doesn't understand my feedback.
Yes, I agree. But to your point, is it putting us out of our jobs? That's like the ongoing joke. I think it may eliminate some jobs, but it's certainly going to create jobs as well. And that's why I think it's important for people to sharpen their skills around AI, because those who know it the most are going to be those who are more secure in their positions and ready to receive the transformation that's coming. Like if you are just backed in a corner, minding your business and not trying to understand what AI are, you're going to miss opportunity. So I don't think it's eliminating them. I think it is creating them. And it is important to at least know how it impacts your profession or your workplace or your industry.
Very
so
important.
that you can be a part of the transformation and not necessarily left behind.
I think that is key. You said something really key there. Being proactive, taking that initiative and understanding how it impacts the industry that you work in is so important. I was during Afrotech, which I know we both went to last fall. Attended one of the fireside chats, and the speakers, they were in particular talking about leadership and leading teams and how the future of leadership and leading teams will look different going forward. Because so far it's been leadership in the sense of leading people, leading others. And now we're entering a phase of leadership where it's leading people and machines. Like it is going to be people and AI agents, and people who understand how to lead teams comprised of those are going to be the ones who are successful. And hearing that has lived rent free in my head ever since, because I believe that it challenges everything. I think it challenges the validity of an MBA going forward, and even maybe the content and curriculum and structure of what the MBA curriculum even looks like. Everything has to be questioned, but nothing taken for granted in this new era that we're in.
I agree. Leading people and leading machines. So get to know the machine. And that is the charge. Read something, listen to something, ChatGPT something, but learn not all of AI, because as we mentioned, it's so broad, but take a slice, and the slice most relevant to your industry, and figure that out and work with it. Don't let it replace you or work against you, but you can work with it by learning what it does, how these models and algorithms are made, like what inputs go into them, what considerations. That is what's going to keep you marketable and ahead of the game.
Very well said. As we wrap up today, any other advice, any wisdom you'd like to share that we did not touch on yet?
Part of the intent was to encourage us to be in that room. I think with transitions happening politically, technically, in all the leads, one common denominator is technology it has a new seat at the table in a different way. It's always been here and present, but it is at the forefront of it. We're at the forefront of a lot of change, and a lot of that change is going to involve AI and all the multiple disciplines within it, as we described earlier. So my advice would be to pick something to just learn and want to stay up on. And I'm providing that in like fun and hopefully digestible and short form way, but find something else to supplement their education. Picking up a book or having a conversation with a friend, having conversations like we're having at work or with your boss or with different VPs to see how they're thinking about incorporating it into your world so that you can stay on top. So that would be my advice is to do something and learn something, and don't miss this wave.
Take action. Be curious.
Get into those machines.
So subscribe to That AI Girl, the weekly newsletter on LinkedIn. Look for the That AI Girl brand across all social media channels. Thank you very much for being here, Jade, aka That AI Girl.
Thank you, Naya, for highlighting not only me, but all the beautiful, amazing, dynamite women you feature on your podcast. I'm such a fan, and I'm grateful to have been a part of today's episode.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.